this is the Petite from Mcusta. It is a small little pocket knife that my wife gave to me as an anniversary present. And by small, I mean it's really pretty small. Here it is next to a Spyderco Dragonfly. And here's a sort of a standard sized, not a classic, but a Huntsman Swiss Army knife. So it's a pretty small little knife. It's a fifth pocket knife, and I got it. Actually, I asked for it because I needed a replacement for this Spyderco Dragonfly, which I'm a little reluctant to use now because Austin Blades, my local knife sharpening place, ruined it. You can see they burned the blade there, sharpening it, and I think that probably may have damaged the temper. Sort of reshaped it too, kind of gave it a recurve look. This is a sprint run Spyderco Dragonfly in super blue steel. So that's a shame. Now this is a laminated steel, so that center layer there is harder than the outer layers, so it should hold an edge better. But then the softer outer layers of steel, you can see how it's sandwiched there. The softer outer layers of steel give the blade more toughness, so it's not so brittle that it's going to just snap. But I don't know if it was because they were unfamiliar with this super blue steel, or if they just weren't paying attention, or what. But professional knife sharpening place here in Austin, Texas, burned it for me. Yeah, so that was disappointing. And I like having a small little pocket knife that I can carry that doesn't weigh anything, isn't isn't really tactical looking, or doesn't really look like a weapon so much as a tool for opening boxes and stuff like that. And I've got some other stuff that's small. I got this little Gerber little keychain slash. Well, it's got a little pocket clip on it. That's a small little knife. Not a great knife. And I don't love serrations. That's a serrated blade. You can see it has gotten some use. I've kind of thrashed on it a little bit. I used it camping. Here's a multi-tool Gerber dime. Let's show you the size comparisons here with this Mcusta. There's the Gerber dime. Here's this other Gerber. There's a little Kershaw, little fifth pocket knife. Right. And here's the Leatherman squirt. Okay, kind of same ballpark. But this little Mcusta has a lot of qualities that I am really pleased with. A lot more cutting edge than some of these other tiny little knives. I mean, obviously this is not an apples to apples comparison because this is a multi-tool, so it's got, some other features on it, but much more useful blade here. And also just a much classier knife. This is Damascus with a VG10 core. So, and it's got sort of a hammered look here. It's got these little, three-dimensional divots in it in the top part of the blade near the spine there. And then the Damascus pattern on it is kind of a matte black, matte finished look. The only part that's really shiny is up near the spine of the blade and the actual sharpened edge. These handles are micarta. It's jute micarta. And there's a couple different colorways for this knife. You can get it like this, which is black and orange, or there's an orange and blue, or there's a blue and black. It is a liner lock. It's a front flipper. It's possible to open it one-handed. It's a little awkward for me while I'm operating a camera here to do it. Really positively. There we go. Flip it open. And I'm not real experienced with front flippers anyway. The only jimping on it is right there, and it's kind of flush pretty much with the micarta. So you get that texture when you push into it. If the micarta wasn't up flush with it, it would be pretty sharp jimping actually. But that kind of keeps your finger from sliding onto the blade. And it's got an integral pocket clip. This steel that makes the pocket clip here is the liner lock. It just comes up out of the liner there and folds over, and that becomes the pocket clip. It's pretty deep carry. Mcusta has always done these pocket clips that are really pretty much right at the end of the knife, that sit very deeply in a pocket, and this is just perfect for a fifth pocket. Classy. Here is a Civivi that is in Damascus. This is their stainless Damascus. This is, I think, a 9CR based Damascus. And it is reflective. It is very sort of shiny. Right? Almost a mirror polish with the pattern of the Damascus in there. You can see my phone. There's me. Hi. Much different than the Mcusta with that matte finish on the Damascus, which may change over time a little bit. Those lines may darken. I don't know if that's a stainless based Damascus. I know the core of this laminated blade is VG10, which is a stainless steel. It's a pretty familiar material. It's what a lot of my Spyderco pocket knives use. But then it's got sandwiched between these layers of Damascus. Anyway, that's a quick look at the Mcusta Petit. It's being listed as the Petite on some retail websites. The box does not identify it as the Petite. It just has a model number, MC-0211D, and then the Damascus jute micarta, and this one is the black and orange. And there's absolutely no literature in this box. It was just a plastic sleeve. I'm a little bit familiar with Mcusta. This is the second knife that I've owned that was made by Mcusta in Seki, Japan, Seki City. Of course, Seki City is famous for a long history of knife making, cutlery making. Some Spydercos are made there. I bought several years ago a Browning knife that was branded by Browning, but it was actually made by Mcusta. And it wasn't Damascus, but it was a VG10 blade. It was significantly larger than this. I haven't seen it in several years, so I don't know if I misplaced it. Well, obviously I misplaced it, but I don't know if it's in my home somewhere, or if I, left it somewhere else, and now it's somebody else's pocket knife. But I was pleased with that knife. I'm pleased with this one, and I wanted to give you a little look at it. I don't normally do pocket knife reviews, even though I, enjoy some good cutlery. But the only review of this one that I could find was not in English. So I thought, for the English speakers out there, I would just show this to you and tell you a little bit about it and tell you what I think of it. And it came really razor sharp. So even though that's a small blade, I think it's a sheep's foot profile. It's not, murdery, but it could be a useful little utility knife. Open letters, open packages, cut string, cut little pieces of rope if you need to. Just whatever comes up in your daily activities, but with some class, right? I mean, that's a really cool looking blade there with the hammered texture and the Damascus and the laminated steel, and those micarta handles. About $100, little over $100 for these guys. And I think, that's consistent with the price of another high quality knife like this Spyderco that it's replacing, Dragonfly. All right, so that's your look. That's your look at the Mcusta Petit